Hi everyone, it's Chenzo from Reality Art Pod. I'm here to recap and review episode 3 and 4 of the Challenge USA Season 2, and things are really starting to heat up. The players are really bringing the drama. We come into episode 3 titled Civil War. In the beginning of the episode, Tori and Amanda are fighting because Janae went home, and this is another argument that's kind of random and also goes nowhere and is about really nothing. I'm left feeling like Amanda really just wants to give the producers their money's worth every single time they bring her, which I can't complain about. I also really appreciate Amanda. The best personal content this episode is from Paulie, who shows that he's therapized and galvanized. He's really been working on himself, and I believe him. I said in the previous episodes that I've really been coming around to Paulie, but I'll talk more about him later. The daily challenge this episode is a complicated swimming and puzzle challenge where they all have to swim out to this boat and capsize the boat, turning it over to reveal that there's a flag puzzle key on the bottom of the boat. They have to memorize and then flip the boat back over, and whoever has the best score in the shortest amount of time is the winner. The red team goes first. They work well together. Tiffany struggles in the swimming. Banana says that his record is on the line if they lose, and I just wonder, what's your record? Like, are they going to take away most challenges played, or are they going to take away the amount of money that you've won or the challenges that you've won? It's not like you have a big win percentage record to defend. You can lose a challenge, Bananas. You've done it before. The biggest error that they make is that Michelle messes up with the flags and slows them down. It's the blue team's turn, and Fessy does an impressive flip into the water, which really sets this team off on a good start. They pretty much fly through the challenge. They nail the swimming, and then they nail the puzzle. So as long as the green team doesn't also fly through it, it's pretty clear that the blue team is going to win. And then the green team goes. They do a pretty good job on time. Amanda rides Wes's back in the water, just delivering on more hilarious Amanda content. So seems like their time was similar to Blue's. In the end result, the red team and the blue team got all their flags correct, so green is out of it, but blue was faster, so they won the challenge. After the challenge, Alyssa L tries to convince Corey to turn against the vets. Alyssa obviously has a chip on her shoulder because on her season of Big Brother, she didn't really get too much of a chance to play the game. I feel like it probably kept her up at night saying, like, if I did this, it's probably something that she really regrets. And she came back to the Challenge USA Season 1 trying to be more strategic, but this is probably the best thing strategic she's ever done. In the deliberation, the rookies all vote for Bananas. Corey votes for Amanda and Bananas, which just goes to show that Alyssa's work paid off. Bananas is incensed by being voted into this elimination. Bananas and Corey fight. Corey has like laryngitis, so he's not really able to hold his own in this argument. He's just talking like this, screaming like this. So it was really Bananas against Corey, who sounded like Donald Duck. We get an extended montage of Bananas losing his mind and rambling off the mouth with Mafia Fool music playing in the background. Desi says that she is tired of Bananas' voice. So will Desi be Bananas' undoing this season? We'll only find out. We get to the votes in the hopper. Josh has 2 votes, Tyler has 3 votes, Chanel has 1, Paulie has 3, and Monty has 5. My biggest issue with the anonymous voting is that we, the viewers, don't know who voted for who. We should get some kind of flashback or some kind of clip showing us who everyone voted for. The people who run the Wikipedia pages for the challenge probably are in a cold sweat about this. TJ pulls Paulie's name out of the hopper, so Paulie has to go against Bananas. The elimination reminds me of a saw trap. It's an endurance competition where they're holding their arms above their head while standing on a block of ice, so the ice underneath them is slowly melting, lowering them, making it easier for them to fall. There's also a beanbag element to this where they're throwing beanbags at a target. If they hit the target, then a fire goes underneath their competitor's block of ice. I'm not going to explain this too much. I think anyone who's watching this has watched this episode. We go back and forth, and coming into this elimination, I wouldn't give anyone the advantage. It's pretty clear that whoever ends up with the fire under them would be the winner of the challenge. They don't seem too bothered by the fact that they're standing on ice, so it's pretty much just whoever can stand there the longest. Paulie ends up with the fire under his ice, so Paulie ends up losing, and Paulie must go. I feel like I've watched every show that Paulie has been on, and of all the shows, this is probably the most pleasant run he's had. He was only on 3 episodes, but overall he made a really positive impression. He's doing a successful job changing the narrative about himself and making himself more of a positive figure. I guess that's what always bothered me about Paulie, is that he was just always such a negative figure, and there were never really many redeeming qualities, so seeing him have some positive content here makes me welcoming of him being a more regular part of the franchise. And also bring back Cara Maria too. We left off at the end of the episode with a cliffhanger of will Bananas defect and switch teams. Coming into episode 4, the title of the episode was Doublecrossed and Sideswiped, so clearly Bananas is going to double cross his team, and then the episode starts with Bananas double crossing his team. He switches with Corey, which makes sense because Tori is on the blue team, which makes sense because his ally Tori is there and they just won. The next day, Josh is being confrontational for no reason. This is one of the biggest annoyances about Josh, is I feel like he just always is popping off about something. On Big Brother, it was such a headache on the live feeds. So he's just popping off and calling everyone out. Desi opens up to the girls in the house, as well as the audience obviously, about her lack of confidence in her personal personal life and in the game. This overall felt to me like they were setting her up for a long-term journey. Seemed very winner's edity and very obvious to me, but I love the personal content, and win or lose, I'd love to learn more about Desi. I feel like we barely know her as a character from Survivor or from the challenge. The challenge is called Sideswiped. They have to swing between two moving Mack trucks against a competitor to stick their team's colored discs to the side of the truck. Of all the fast car challenges, truck challenges, I really enjoyed this. There was an element of team against team. There was elements of strategy. It was easy to follow. And the stakes have been increased because TJ says it's a double elimination. We're going to get a male and female elimination this week. The challenge does look kind of easy. They really just have to swing. Amanda does terribly. Wes does great. Corey schools Chris. Desi and Tyler crush it. At some point, the blue team is so far behind that Chris ends up saying that they should basically throw the challenge in the effort to sabotage Green by blocking Green as much as they can and not even going for their discs. So when Bananas and Tori go against Michaela and Monty, all they do is block them. Blue team's plan ends up being successful. Red wins and they're safe. The big drama for this episode comes into the deliberation for Red. Chanel, Tiffany, and Michelle want Amanda nominated, but Josh doesn't want that. He says coming into the elimination that he's prepared to go into a stalemate. In the deliberation, they all squabble. Josh calls everyone stupid, specifically the females. He loses his temper. He starts slamming his fists against the table. He's such a headache. Dusty is also so mousy during this conversation. He really could have saved his friend Lewis, but he ends up getting walked all over by everybody. They go to the vote and Tiffany and Michelle crack under the pressure and switch their votes. Chanel is the only person who wasn't afraid of going to elimination this week. So as much as Josh was a pain, he really did end up getting his way, which is super annoying. So Desi and Lewis end up being up for elimination. Lewis says that he's nominated and he says, ouchie. Desi tells everyone that she wants to go against Amanda. They put the votes in the hopper. The vote is boring, but Michaela votes for Wes because she felt like it. You go, Michaela. We get the reveal of the votes. Chris has the most votes with 6 and Amanda has the most votes for the females with 9. And because they have so many, Amanda and Chris end up getting hopped by the hopper. The elimination is called Evil Eye, which is really just a pole wrestle with an evil eye wheel. Lewis and Chris are up first and we get our money's worth with this matchup because they're throwing each other around, they're rolling, they're wrestling, everyone has shock on their faces. Chris ends up winning and we have to say goodbye to Lewis. I hardly knew you coming into the show, Lewis. I even watched The Amazing Race. I didn't remember you from there. But he was a really silly guy. He seemed to have a very humorous personality, and he went out of his way to remind us that he's a firefighter. So goodbye, Lewis. You're out there fighting those fires. I have mad respect for that. We get to Desi versus Amanda, and the editing led me to believe that Desi was about to whoop Amanda's ass at this elimination. But Amanda puts up a good fight. There's not one single moment that I think Amanda might possibly win this, though. But Desi ends up winning and is vindicated. We have to say goodbye to Amanda, and Amanda delivered. Again, she brings the entertainment. This season would be far less entertaining if she wasn't on it. I do think that her time was up, though. I'm not sure how much more she could have contributed to the game aspect of it. I think that Amanda will continue to be asked back by the producers. Unfortunately, I think that unless Amanda really trains heavily for these challenges, this is the kind of run that we can just expect from her moving forward. We end the episode with Chris sticking with the blue team. Desi takes Alyssa S's spot on the blue team, and I really feel like we're set up for the Desi power arc, where she's now taken her fate into her hands. She's on the blue team. So if I had to say right now, I think the winners of this season are going to be Desi and Chris, but I'll be back next Sunday to talk about episode 5 and 6 of the Challenge USA. Please share your opinions in the comments. I love to hear where you're coming from. It helps me to put together my outlines. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I'm so appreciative for everyone who subscribes and helping me get through my first month podcasting. I'll be back next week. Until then, have a nice week. Bye.